In the 1400s, there was no Spain, just a battlefield of kingdoms, Christians in the north, Muslims in the south. For over 700 years, Christian and Muslim rulers fought for control of the Iberian Peninsula. It was called the Reconquista, the long Christian reconquest of Muslim lands. But in 1492, the struggle ended, and with it, something new began. In 1469, Ferdinand of Aragon and Isabella of Castile married, not for love, but for power. Their union didn't immediately create one country, but it did create one dynasty. Together, they ruled two of the most powerful kingdoms in Iberia, and together they had one clear goal: to finish the Reconquista. By 1482, they launched the Granada War, the final push to defeat the last Muslim kingdom in Iberia, the Emirate of Granada. It was a tough campaign. Granada was mountainous, well defended, and backed by North African allies. But Ferdinand and Isabella had better resources, siege tactics, and one thing the emir lacked: unity. After 10 years, it was over. On January 2nd, 1492, the Muslim ruler Boabdil surrendered the city of Granada. The Royal Catholic Army marched in and ended 800 years of Islamic rule. The Reconquista was done. But Ferdinand and Isabella weren't done now. Now they looked outward. At the same time, Portugal had been exploring the African coast, looking for a sea route to Asia. Spain was falling behind in this race for global trade. Then came Christopher Columbus, an Italian navigator with a crazy idea: not sail east to get to Asia, sail west. The experts said it wouldn't work. But in early 1492, the same year Granada fell, Ferdinand and Isabella agreed to fund his journey. They didn't expect much, they just hoped he might find something new. Instead, he found everything. The first voyage, on October 12th, 1492, Columbus landed in the Bahamas, believing he had reached the islands of the east coast of Asia. He hadn't. He was in the Caribbean, a region unknown to Europeans. He explored Cuba, Hispaniola, and more, claiming them all for Spain. And he wasn't alone for long. The conquest now began. Soon, Spain sent more ships, soldiers, and settlers. The first permanent colony was built in 1493 on Hispaniola. In the years that followed, they took Puerto Rico, Jamaica, and Cuba. But these islands were just the beginning. Spain discovered that the Caribbean was rich in two things: resources and civilizations. Indigenous peoples lived in organized societies with their agriculture, trade, and beliefs entirely foreign to Europe. Spanish colonizers wanted gold, labor, and power, and they didn't care how they got it. This led to brutal exploitation, forced conversions, and mass death from diseases and violence. But to Spain, these conquests meant wealth, glory, and divine purpose. After 2 years had passed, in 1494, Spain and Portugal signed the Treaty of Tordesillas, drawing a line through the Atlantic. Everything west of that line belonged to Spain, and everything east was to Portugal. That meant most of the Americas became Spain's to conquer. By the early 1500s, Spain had a foothold in the Caribbean and the beginning of something much bigger, an empire. But they had no idea what lay just beyond those islands. For years, Spanish explorers had heard whispers of lands far inland, of cities made of stone, of gold, warriors, and kings. In 1517, a Spanish expedition reached the coast of what is now Mexico, and there they saw it. Wide roads, organized armies, massive temples, and people dressed in rich fabrics and gold. This wasn't a myth. This wasn't a tribe. This was a kingdom. Spain had just discovered a new world, and it was watching them back.